Hope all is well with everybody. Welcome in. We're going to get started for today. If you are new here and do not know who I am, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist, and I'm here to support you in understanding exactly what is going on with not only our food industry and our health industry overall, but making those connections of the pain points that you have going on and really helping you be able to shift your understanding and shift away from just managing and dealing with them with prescriptions or surgeries and etc., and understanding the foundation of how we get to a healthy lifestyle. And for 2026, how many people are dealing with the fact that they have failed in the past when it comes to diet culture or just overall changing their health, overall changing their lifestyle. And so how we're going to be able to achieve that by understanding why so many women fail and why you aren't being supported, and how we get away from the space that is just constantly helping you be able to keep diseases alive. That's a short way to say it. I don't know why this little butterfly is sticking out and not laying down, but it's sticking straight out right now. So I'm gonna try to fix it if I can. If I can fix it, it's not the end of the world. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna lay down, but if you are new here, hi, my name is Kendra, like I said, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please do not hesitate or feel afraid to leave any questions that you have down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out my other playlists on YouTube. And if you're here on TikTok, how are you doing today? Go check out my YouTube and go subscribe if you haven't already. I post all of my past lives on YouTube. So today we're going to be talking about the foundation that women are actually going to need for 2026 in order for them to be healthier, to feel better, to have that discipline that you're looking for, or that lifestyle changes you've been looking for, because that's what we've been talking about. All of 2020, we were talking about habit patterns. We were talking about hormone balancing. We were talking about how discipline is not the really thing that you're supposed to be searching for. And a lot of people are looking for discipline and motivation when those two things are fleeting and those are not the key for you to get their success. And so a lot of women coming into the conversation of being healthier with feeling off, feeling shame, feeling like they have to start over if they mess up, feeling like they don't know what they're doing, but they're playing a guessing game, feeling tired, exhausted, feeling that fatigue. And you know, day by day, that whatever you're trying has not worked, or what you're going to try, you have a negative connotation because of your past cultures of diet habits. And so I want you to be clear on the fact that you're not failing because you're lacking discipline, and you aren't failing because you are sitting here, there's something wrong with you, or that something that you are doing specifically is inherently wrong. But it's because you are in a system that has taught you to go against your own biology. You're in a system that is wrong and that is not supportive of your natural body, especially as a woman. Let me turn this light up. I feel like it's like it's a little off in here today, because we are taught from a space that not only is tailored for men, but we're also taught in a space that is taught to keep you managing diseases or illnesses and not actually fixing the problem that you're having going on. And so when you were dealing with that issue and you're not dealing with the root of the issue, but you're dealing with the surface of the issue, you were going to constantly have this back and forth that you were never going to be able to solve and you're never going to be able to fix. And so when you don't understand this concept, everything is going to seem like an uphill battle, and it's all going to seem like that your body is turning against you. But when you gain the concept of how they teach you to go against your biology, they don't teach you how to support the body from the inside out, everything will change for you when you start making the actions that represent how we support the body from the inside out. Not just gaining knowledge and sitting on it, or knowing this and spreading it to everybody else and telling them what they need to do, but knowing why this matters, knowing how this impacts your health, and why so many women are in the same state right now of being hormonally imbalanced, feeling fatigued, dealing with the issue of brain fog, dealing with the emotional the overwhelming and the weight of you being burnt out, you dealing with that disconnect, chronic stress, dealing with the fact that you have this bloating or excess weight that you can't get rid of. All of these things are pinpointing to the fact that you don't understand the biology and why this matters. Why knowing that you have to get away from the societal system that has taught you to go against your own body, because that's an important part. Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it. Because when you were sitting here and you believe that you are designed to operate on willpower and motivation, and you having this discipline that is never wavering, it's not only discouraging when you mess up, but it's also teaching you to negatively self-talk about yourself if something goes wrong, if life happens, right? Because now life has happened and you're sitting back and you're trying to figure out, why in the world did I stop eating correctly? Or why in the world did I gain 20 pounds even though I lost 20? Or how in the world I got back to the old lifestyle that I was living? Because you weren't taught how to fully, successfully teach yourself to unlearn those habits and to stay away from them so that you can sustain a healthy lifestyle. And a big lie that women are taught, people in general, but women specifically, are taught to look at lifestyle changes as a space of having motivation, having discipline, restricting calorie counting, and getting more serious about your health journey. These are the things, the model that they teach you off of, that you have to be serious in the gym. You have to be strict with your calorie counting. You have to restrict all this sugar and salt, and you have to restrict all these fats, and you have to make sure you're eating the leanest meat, right? And then when you're starved, you have no motivation to cook because you have no energy. When you have no creativeness to be able to create a new dish or to cook something new, and you're wondering why you're lacking that discipline and that motivation, you haven't taught yourself subconsciously or consciously to feel comfortable in this space. Because all of these, motivation is fleeting, discipline is fleeting, and it's uncomfortable. Restriction is uncomfortable, and you're starving yourself. You having the calorie counting mindset and not realizing you need to have more quantity of quality foods, you're going to sit here and you're going to feel like it's a punishment. Getting more serious and telling yourself that when you already don't feel like doing something is going to make you reiterate the negative connotation around it. And so you're building on top of on a model that teaches you to consistently not only ignore your own conscious self, but to also completely tell yourself that it's wrong to feel human. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. And so when you are in the space that teaches you to feel uncomfortable, or not to feel uncomfortable, because you're going to feel uncomfortable with anything new, but to reiterate the fact that your uncomfortableness is something that you should ignore in your body, and you should ignore panic signs, and that you should diminish yourself if you feel any kind of way other than feeling motivated, feeling disciplined, feeling like you have that drive every single day. That makes you reiterate or have a negative connotation around health journeys that this is not going to work. I'm never going to stick with this. This is never going to be a space where I can stay in and stay healthy. I'm going to constantly be fighting and battling the fatigue, my weight gain, or whatever else that you have going on currently. Because as somebody who was in that space, I really appreciate you for the gifts. Thank you. I was in that space. And I was in a space that is built off of a masculine system, a masculine nervous system. As a woman, we cannot operate in that space. You have to be able to not only cycle sync, know how to eat for your phases of your cycle, which helps you balance your hormones, but also know how to work out for the phases of for your phases of your cycle, as well as do external work for the phases of your cycle. So you sitting here thinking that you should work yourself to the bone regardless of how you're feeling or how your body's communicating with you is the disconnect that you have with yourself, and then you wonder why you're so tired and you're fatigued, and then you're sitting here complaining about how you get no break. Now you're dealing with PMS every single month. You're dealing with the issue of now you have a fibroid that grew out of nowhere, and it's not out of nowhere. It's a continuous cycle that women are on for 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life. And then we wonder why when you hit around the age of 50 that all of a sudden now you have a fibroid that they're diagnosing you with. And it's not because you all of a sudden have a fibroid, but you have literally putting so much stress on your body for 20 or 30 plus years that now your body is finally giving you all the signs that they can diagnose you with the fibroid. Because a lot of the times you have it in your 20s and your 30s, but they don't diagnose you. And they're noticing this earlier and earlier. They're noticing, or rather recognizing, and they're diagnosing now earlier and earlier that people are having signs of having endometriosis or PCOS or fibroids or cysts earlier. And now they're panicking and telling you that all these women are having hormonal imbalances, and there's millions of women, right? And that you should be trying to avoid getting fibroids. And they're telling you to work out, and they're telling you to eat right. But they're not telling you that how important and impactful it is for you to eat for your cycle phases. And so when you're sitting here and you're going down that path of thinking that you're doing a health journey, and then you hit 40 and you hit 50 and they diagnose you with a cyst or a fibroid, and you're confused because you've been on this health journey for 20 or 10 years or however long, because you wanted to get yourself right after your 20s, because you've never eaten right up until the point where your body started to change when you hit that second life of puberty. Now you're sitting here saying that you want to eat better because you're getting older. And then you do that. And then you're wondering why you're so sick and how you develop a fibroid by the time that you're 40 or 50. It's not an isolated incident. because this is what current reality of women are dealing with right now. Clients that come with me, talk to me, that are telling me their story and they're telling me how they've done this health journey or they've done this change and they've been trying this and nothing is actually changing when it comes to their health internally. And I say the same thing every single time. It's the system. It's the system that we're designed into and we're operating. Push, override yourself. Consistency without fluctuation. When you have fluctuation in your cycle phases, you have fluctuation in your weight, you have fluctuation in how you should be working out. Everything has a spectrum in a way when you think of it. Because sometimes all you need is something subtle and it does a big of a difference. And then sometimes you need something that's more hardcore, that's going to make a big change in your life. But majority of the time, there's small little increments of changes that are implemented in your life that completely change everything. Not everything has to be a major shift. Living a lifestyle that is healthier, living a plant-based lifestyle, making more plant-based foods does not start with you throwing everything out of your fridge and getting rid of all the chemicals in your home. It starts with as simple as you learning how simple it can be to remake a dish that you love in a plant-based form and how it tastes the same to mimic it. That's a small little change. Learning how to eat more fruits in your day is a small little change. Learning how to incorporate more water in your day is a small little change. But when you're sitting here listening to these gurus that tell you that you have to eat the leanest meat, that you have to go to the gym 4, 5, 6, 7 different times out of the week, and you haven't worked out in 2 years, 3 years, 4 plus, right? That seems extreme. And then what happens in your brain is you reiterating your brain that it's too much to be healthy. It's too much to take care of yourself. You don't have enough brain capacity to even wrap your brain around getting in the gym 4 or 5 times different in the week. So why not just get up and just start moving forward 4 or 5 times in the week? Start with 3, start with 2. 2 times this week, I'm just going to make sure that I do a 10-minute workout on YouTube. 2 times this week, I'm going to make sure that I sit down on the floor and I stretch out my back, my arms, my legs. Make sure that my body is limber. And then once you do that consistently and you're not even thinking about the 2 times a week anymore, move it up to 3. These are small little habit changes that I'm working with my clients right now that are in my Balanced Body program that is no longer available because it closed before January 1st. These are the small little changes that we incorporate that happen in my program because your hormones change weekly. Your nervous system responds to safety. So if we know that our hormones change with our cycle phases and they change often as women, why are we not supporting it so that our nervous system feels safe? And when your nervous system does feel safe, you know what happens with the side of you? Your hormones balance. So then now guess what? Your weight is going to stop fluctuating. You're going to actually have a discerning thought instead of your cravings ruling everything that you're going to eat and realize that, I don't need sugar. What I need is a full nutritional balanced meal that is going to support me in staying in the rhythm of eating for my body, eating for my health. You'll have that discernment and you'll have that motivation that you're looking for, all because you have energy to actually get up and get moving and taking care of your body. You'll have a rhythm. Not just something that is you have to push through and you have to work through the fatigue, but a rhythm that works with your body. So if you don't want to work out today, it's not I'm just so lazy, but it's understanding that I'm not in the cycle phase for me to work out today. And so my body is saying, you're not in this space to be trying to run a whole mile today. Maybe you just need to walk for 30 minutes. And it doesn't even have to be a brisk, heavy walk, just something to get your body moving. Women are taught to force yourself out of your own comfort to the point where your body resists and it tells you that it's resisting. And guess what you do? You ignore it. And so then when you ignore it for 10, 20, 30, or however many years, you think that your body is broken because it stops giving you the signs. But in reality, it's still giving you the same signs. You've just trained yourself to ignore them. Your body is not broken. Your body is not turning against you. It is protecting you. And you have to know the symptoms. You have to know what these symptoms mean so that you can pinpoint what sign is trying to show you so that you can get to the root cause of the problem. But when you aren't taught that there is a root behind these problems that you're having, you think that your body's turning against you. You think that PMSing is normal. This is a sign that you are emotionally unsafe inside of yourself. This is a sign that you are hormonally imbalanced inside of yourself. Motivation is unreliable. You're going to have motivation one day and the next day you're not. That's just a part of you and how your hormones fluctuate as a woman. That's not about PMSing. That's just a fact for fact. Because PMSing is something that your body does when you are having a hormonal imbalance and you don't feel emotionally safe. So then the foundation is unstable. And so when it's trying to get ready to menstruate, which is premenstrual syndrome, which is your body's getting ready to menstruate, it's panicking because it's every single day trying to keep you alive. It's lacking nutrition. And so guess what's happening now? You have an attitude. Now you have anxiety. Now you're sitting here dealing with panic attacks. Now everybody's on your last nerve and you can't figure out how to calm down. Now you're over here crying out of nowhere. And it's more than just, oh, I'm about to start my cycle. I'm just sad. You're rushed every single day. You feel judged because a lot of y'all lack a lot of self-esteem. It's really, really low. Even though people say that they have self-love, a lot of people's self-esteem is not where they say it is. You restrict yourself with calories, or you think that you're going to fast your way into being healthy and losing weight, and you don't realize how this spikes your blood sugar. And so when your blood sugar is doing that spike and that fluctuation, that's also going to throw off your emotional state, because it's throwing off your hormone balance and it's throwing off your other organs, trying to compensate what the pancreas is having to do. The liver is having to do, because the pancreas is your regulator for your blood sugar, and your liver is the regulator for toxins. So if you're trying to pump out all this excess sugar that it's sitting here saying, hey, this is a toxin, so your liver is also having to combat with your pancreas, and they're working together and working overtime. How do you think this is impacting your body? You're telling your body that you're not hungry, that you just ate and you should be fine. So then you're skipping out on a good nutritional meal because you think that, okay, I ate bad last night, so guess what? I'm just not going to eat today. I'm going to fast until 8 o'clock. And then you're starving. And then you wonder why you binge eat. You punish yourself for being hungry. You tell yourself, listen, you're not hungry right now. And you force yourself to fast when your body needs nutrition. When you eat crap, that does not mean jump into a fast when you already didn't have a nutritious meal. Because when you eat a full balanced meal that your body is craving, you won't be able to have all this other meals on top of it. That the whole concept of what they teach us when we're younger is that you should have 3 balanced meals a day. And then if you want a snack because you're hungry in between, and this is how we teach our children, and then you wonder why your children are calling your name every 30 minutes and telling you that they're hungry every 10 to 20 minutes. It's not a coincidence. It's not because those babies are just so hungry because they're growing. Yes, children crave more calories because they move more. Yes, they're going to say that they're hungry quite often, more than what an adult would. And yes, as we get older, we get less hungry because we move less. But when you think of the concept of getting a full balanced meal, when you eat a full balanced meal, and a lot of people haven't had a full balanced meal in years, so they don't know what it actually feels like to be full and not overfilled. There's a difference. When you are getting all the nutrients that you need and you are full, after you eat that meal, you're not going to be sitting here feeling bloated like you can't do anything afterwards, nor are you really going to want to run a marathon or walk for 30 minutes, but you could, because it's about the comfortability of your body. But when you overstuff yourself, you're not even going to want to move. That's how y'all get the itis and you want to go to sleep. But when you are filled for fuel in the body and not just to fill your body, and you are given the nutrients that you need, you won't be sitting here in the space where you can eat a whole bunch of sugar after you eat. Because even if you were in the space where you still have cravings, because when I was cutting out sugar in June of last year, I want to say it was June of last year. Yeah, because I set myself up for May. So May, I was starting to slide things out of my regimen of eating. And then June, I had no sugar at all because I was leading up and I wanted to be sugar-free for my birthday. It only took me about 2 weeks. First of all, it takes you 2 weeks to break sugar addiction. But as somebody who was craving something sweet after I was eating, and I was like, man, I'm just going to eat some fruit, or I'm just going to eat this. You can't even really eat the sweet, sugary thing that you were wanting to eat, whether it's something good or whether it's something bad. Because like I said, I was throwing some fruit in there after meals. If you eat a full nutritionist meal, because you know why? You're full. So when I was sitting there like, oh, I really want something sweet, I'm just going to go grab some grapes or something like that. I could only eat about a handful of grapes before my body was like, okay, that's good. You already were full. And even then, I probably wouldn't even do like eat the full hand of grapes. I'd probably go grab a few and be like, you know what? I'm still full. I don't even need this. I remember in one instance specifically, me going to fix something that was like a healthier sweet treat. And it was like a mix of like a homemade kind of a whip that I made and some fruits that could be chopped up and make like a fruit salad kind of thing. And I literally put all the ingredients on the counter and was like, I'm going to fix it, but I'm probably not even going to eat this. And I put it back in the fridge and made it for the next day. Because I was like, I don't even need this. I just had to wait out the craving. And a lot of y'all, that's all you need to do. Get some water, sit down for 10 minutes, and the craving will be gone. That's the same thing when people, if you've ever experienced this, if you cook a lot, have you ever cooked a meal, you were starving when you first started cooking the meal, and then you get done with the meal and you're like, I'm not even hungry anymore. Have you ever felt like that? Because a lot of the times, that's what it is. You just need to water. You just need something else to distract you from your body telling you that, hey, it's a time to eat because you eat every single day at 6 o'clock. Not saying you should be skipping a meal thinking that this is a way for you to lose weight. Because there's a difference between you fasting the correct way and fasting to starve yourself. Because fasting correctly is you setting yourself up knowing that, okay, I'm going to fast tomorrow. So I'm going to make sure that I eat everything that I need when it comes to getting enough nutrients. So when I go to the fast, one, I'm not starving. And two, I'm not spiking my blood sugar as soon as I break my fast. Because your body does tell. Your body holds on to these things. You eat crap and then you skip a meal for a day, or you think you're going to fast for 24 hours. Your body holds on to that. The body knows. When you are in the space of what they tell you to do or how they teach you to rebel against your body, you start emotionally eating. You start sitting here and you have this whole plan of you're going to do this diet, you're going to stop this, you're going to calorie count, you're going to restrict this, right? And then you quit because that's what they teach you. That's what diet culture is. I take care of myself 1 minute, next minute I quit. Thank you for the follows and the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. It's inconsistency. And inconsistency and emotional eating comes from self-sabotage. A lot of it comes from self-sabotage. Not all of it, but a lot, especially emotional eating, comes from self-sabotage. Oh, I've had a stressful day. I'm going to go eat this. Oh, it's been a good day. You want to go out and we're going to go eat this really quickly. Oh, I went through a breakup. Let me go get this ice cream, this cake, and these cookies because I'm going to feel good right now. It's about survival mode. This is when you are in fight or flight. And a lot of people are not understanding what fight or flight looks like when it comes to you eating. We know what fight or flight looks like when kids are traumatized, or when an adult is traumatized, or when somebody has some type of PTSD, right? But you don't understand how survival mode looks like in your everyday life and how this is a self-sabotaging action. This is the reason why discipline fails. A lot of people follow this discipline regimen because there is no discipline when you are in survival mode. You override your hunger, you're overriding your needs, so you're overriding yourself into a space of fatigue, you're overriding your intuition telling you that you're hungry, you're overriding your emotions telling you you shouldn't be feeling like that right now, and then you don't want to follow a rhythm, a pattern, and you're sitting here saying, well, it just doesn't feel right for me to be able to do X, Y, and Z and eat this every single day, and who wants to eat salads every day? Who told you to eat salads every single day? Who told you that you should be under a calorie deficit that makes you starve yourself? And who told you to eat salads every single day? Because that doesn't make you feel comfortable. That is telling your body you are not safe. Do not trust me. That's what you're telling your body. And when the body does not feel safe, it pumps out stress hormones. So when your internal system is not supported, when you are pumping out these stress hormones, your digestion is thrown off, your hormone balance is thrown off, your blood sugar regulation is thrown off, and then you form this long-term habit of you operating in a space that is completely stressful. You form this long-term habit of you making this your norm, because this is not something that people just break the pattern of. A lot of people recognize this pattern and they understand how this happens, but they don't break the pattern. Because a lot of people could spit information out about how this is how you lower your cortisol. This is how you do this to your body. This is how you lose weight. This is how you lose 20 pounds in 20 days. But then people can spit out all this information and they flop back and forth. And it's because you never broke the habit. You never broke the pattern. You never understood how your biology is impacted and the role that your hormones have when you are in the space of thinking that motivation is what you need. You can't build a lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle, in a stressed out body. Nor can you support yourself in getting and staying in this space in a hormonally dominant, stressed or hormonally stress, stress hormonally dominant space. That's what I'm gonna say. I was saying it backwards, because your progesterone, which is the space, the hormone that tells your body you're safe, you can be pregnant, you're okay. The progesterone drops. And when your progesterone drops, this is going to throw off your estrogen as well, because now the body is having to compensate all the other hormones. Your cortisol is going to rise. And after you hit so much of a peak, it has to hit a bottom, which is just as bad as the highest peak. And this is going to cause you to be in a space where chaos thrives. You're going to be in survival mode, and your body is pumping out that stress hormone to let you know it is urgent. We are dying, because that's what it's telling you. Your insulin becomes unstable when you are in a stress hormone dominant space. So then you're going to have all these cravings and all these crashes. This is the reason why y'all are feeling the itis after you eat. And then the brain starts to have to compensate for all of this misalignment. And then guess what? You get anxiety, depression, panic attacks. And women are blaming themselves because they're like, I'm not consistent, I'm lazy, I'm emotionally eating, I'm fatigued, I'm anxiety, I don't have enough energy to spend at the gym, I don't have enough energy to meal prep, I don't have enough energy to eat right, I try but I don't stick with it. And you blame yourself, but the root cause is hormonal. It's hormonal, and it's a nervous system dysregulation, which is taught and brought onto you at a very young age. And they teach you this all of your life instead of teaching you how predictable your body can be when you learn how to cycle sync. It's not about perfection. It's not about you sitting here in a space of having motivation all the time. It's about you having a predictable schedule that operates according to your body, knowing that you need consistent nourishment, knowing that you need to regulate your stress, you need to have a stable rhythm, and you need to have a supportive structure that allows you to have new habit patterns feel safe within you, that become the norm, that become your sustainable place. Predictability tells your body, I'm safe. Predictability isn't, oh, I'm just going to eat a salad every day, because that doesn't tell you you're safe. Predictability means knowing that you're close to your cycle, and so you're not going to eat inflammatory foods. Predictability is knowing that regulating your hormones is safety. Knowing that the cravings can lessen themselves and calm down. And even if you are having a craving, it's not going to completely throw off your day because you didn't have sugar. Knowing that the habits that you tailored to your lifestyle, tailored to your life, is a new lifestyle that allows you to not feel stuck, but instead it allows you to have balance within yourself, and it makes you feel comfortable. So this is the reason why you have to connect your internal systems, your brain, your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys, all of these, your adrenal glands are impacted, because you have to know your physiology, you have to know your biology in order for you to lessen your inflammation, in order for you to balance your hormones, for you to feel safe within yourself. And if you were looking for more of a breakdown of the liver, the kidney, the pancreas, the brain, and making the connection of all of those, I do that more in my YouTube. I have plenty of videos. All last year we were breaking those down, and we were talking about that and diving deeper into that. So I don't have to necessarily go into that, especially adrenal burnout and how that impacts your estrogen and your progesterone. That was, I think, the last live, if not the live before that. Either because I'm like, it'll either be posted on Tuesday or it's already posted. I'm not too sure. But it's really amazing how the body operates under a space of stress to keep you alive. And so many people are in this chronically stressed out state, and you have no resilience behind you. And you think it's because you're lacking motivation or you're lacking clarity. And it's all because you've created confusion within yourself, because you have a high stressed out cortisol driven state that you have been taught into. And this is not the space where women are, are supposed to operate, because you think that this is something that you have failed and that you should quit because you're not good at it. But it's not because you failed, it's because you have built a foundation on a rocky space. You jump straight into diet culture full of these rules and restrictions, no plan, no protocol whatsoever. Just, I'm going to do this, without realizing that you need to stabilize yourself, your nourishment, without stabilizing your nervous system, and giving yourself internal safety and comfort, knowing how to have the right mindset to be in a space of eating right and taking care of yourself, knowing how to cycle sync so that you understand that there are times of your cycle where you should be eating more, not just sitting here saying, well, I just ate something, I shouldn't be hungry anymore. You didn't get everything that you needed, honey. You need to eat something else. Like, it's not just about going in there and getting a bag of chips. It's about the fact that if you're not cooking a full meal and you've only eaten a little snack and you're blaming yourself for eating a little snack and you're still hungry, you didn't get what you were needing. You cannot build on a foundation full of cracks and expect everything to be stabilized and nothing to crumble. And that's what people are failing to realize. And the reason why by March, none of y'all are in the gym anymore, because you're building on a foundation that is already crumbling. It has a whole bunch of cracks and you have no structure. And so instead you focus on intensity, how intense this workout can be, how intense this diet is so I can lose 10 pounds in 10 days, how intense I can be when it comes to me being healthier. This is not support. This is not structure. This is control. And you shouldn't be in the space of constantly wanting to control everything, because you're never going to be able to. You cannot control what happens tomorrow, nor can you control what happens in an hour. The only thing that you can do is to constantly support yourself and to show up for yourself, knowing the difference between trying to be healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. Diet culture is trying to be healthy. I'm going to try to be healthy right now and take care of myself now so I can look good for this wedding. I'm going to try this diet now so I can look good and lose 10 pounds in 10 days. I'm going to try this now so maybe the bloating will go away. But this doesn't help you stay in a healthy space and live in a healthy lifestyle. This helps you be able to get a momentary goal that is not sustainable in long term. So this is the reason why women think that it's all about, okay, well, I'm going to now or never. It has to be perfect. I'm going to wait until all of a sudden when I don't have any more snacks and junk food in my house to be able to take care of myself. Thank you guys for the follows and the likes. We are taught what to eat, what to avoid, and what to follow, instead of learning how to stabilize ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, how to create a rhythm with our cycle, knowing how important that is as a woman, knowing how to have habits that are sustainable so we don't have to flip back and forth between diet culture, learning how to rebuild the trust within the body. Your path should not look like you shaming yourself for being hungry. Your path looks like you understanding your biology, your nervous system, your patterns, your stress responses, your hormonal needs, and using those understandings to be able to gain your cycle syncing help and to fully support the body from the inside out. So if you are looking for a space that helps you be able to have supportive habits and a structure and not oppressive habits, click the link in my bio, book a one-on-one session with me. That one-on-one session does have a bonus. You will get my plant-based foundation for a plant-based lifestyle masterclass. That is a bonus that I'm giving. It's not going to be going forever. I try to do it around this time of the year because, like I said, people get into this new year, new me, and they get in the gym and they get motivated. And I don't want you to be motivated and have that drive and then quit by March because it's not working or that you're tired of doing it. Because it's about having that safety within yourself and not discipline. Having that lifestyle change that starts with you knowing with the habits that help you be able to change this for yourself. Knowing that it's not because you're inconsistent or that the fact that you don't have any discipline, but it's about the fact that you haven't taught your body how to be safe in a change. Because this is a conscious and a subconscious thing. And a lot of people don't understand that. So when you go into the space of doing diet culture, you have the same approach as everybody else, which is to get this quick little fast goal that stimulates you now, that is not going to be motivating later. And so then you go and you're like, you know what, by March, I don't want to be in the gym anymore. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm fine. And then you wonder why by the time that it's summer, nobody is looking as good as they were when they were in the gym, and everybody's tired and everybody's out of the gym, and now you have to catch back up because you're about to go on a trip. It's an endless cycle that people aren't recognizing the patterns to. And it's all because you haven't laid a foundation that allows you to be able to work smarter and not harder. It's an endless cycle. Hi, Elle, how are you doing? And so this is what I've been teaching. And the reason why I've been telling y'all that we didn't wait until January 1st to start getting ourselves together. But this is for the people who did wait until January to decide, you know what, I'm going to get back into the gym. We have to start having a different approach so that you can sustain the change. It isn't about just 1 minute I'm going to lay the foundation, and even though it has a few cracks in it, it's going to work out, because you not having a plan has never worked, and you see it hasn't worked. You see where it has led you. So instead of this, give yourself the form and the information. First of all, give yourself the comfort and give yourself that conscious and subconscious support that allows you to lay a good foundation so that you can build on it with habits. So if you have any questions, or if you would like to know anything about that, or no, the program is closed, excuse me. If you have any questions about this live or anything we've talked about today, please drop any questions down below. And if you are ready to book a one-on-one that is in my bio, you can book a session. And like I said, I have a bonus that is limited time. It won't be running after this month. I'm thinking I'll probably run it for a few weeks. I won't be doing it for the full month. I have to give myself a timeline so I can let you know. But I wanted to get it out now before I forget to let you guys know, because I want to let my YouTube community know, because they do get this every Tuesday and Thursday versus you guys who get me 3 times a week over on TikTok. So any questions that you have, please drop them down. If you don't have any questions, I am going to hop off. Like I said, I do go live 3 times a week and I post them on YouTube. So this is one day of the week. I start my weeks on Sundays. So I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. If you don't have any questions, and that I have supported you and you have gained plenty of information for you to be able to change the foundation that you are on currently right now. And if you are looking for more one-on-one support and structure, and you want to know how I have been plant-based for over 5 years, and you are looking for that foundation of how do you help yourself heal from the inside out and support yourself internally so that it can lead to external changes, please go ahead and book your session, get your bonus. And I'm gonna hop off. I don't see any questions. I'm gonna give you guys like 1 more minute. Any questions for me at all? And then, like I said, if you are on YouTube, I do respond to my comment section. So please drop any questions that you have down in the comments. Go check out my YouTube. All of my socials are linked in my bio. On every single social media, I have all of them linked in my bio. And if you are not on my email list, you'll know every time I go live, you always get a Wellness Wednesday email from me. So please check those out. I'm not seeing any questions, so I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Like I said, if you were looking for that one-on-one session, it is linked in my bio. Go check it out. There's a bonus running right now. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Happy Sunday to everybody, and peace, y'all. I am out.